All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I have the Spyderco Shaman here with me. As usual, we're going to analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this big boy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. This is up against smaller brother, also Spyderco Native 5. And this is your Manix 2, also from Spyderco. And let's see another option, classic PM3 right over here. And also, of course, why not PM2 right up there. So a tad, I would say it was comparable size with the PM2. And just because we want to throw in the mix something not from Spyderco, just a Benchmade 940-1. All right. So let's check out the look of this guy, because this is a pretty good looking knife, I think. This is, of course, original design from Spyderco, made in US, Colorado. It's overall, like, open position is 8.2 inches or like 21 centimeters long. So not like a small knife whatsoever. You notice immediately that these lines are beautifully designed. It's like, it is a joy to watch. It's, you know, these lines are rounded off all along the edges. It's beautiful. I really like the look of this guy. This is a sprint run. You know, it has carbon fiber handles. They have these beautiful radiused edges, like you know, are gonna be letting you admire all the layers. Like for they used, you know, to construct, to build these scales. Underneath, you have some hidden full liners, like stainless steel, which, you know, they get up to here. So they're not just partial, and they are skeletonized. So you can see there are holes to, you know, remove material and to save weight, which is a pretty neat feature. You have, you know, these beautifully rounded edges, you know, beautifully chamfered, not on the inside over here, but it's not sharp whatsoever. So, but here, guys, it's like insanely beautiful to look, to touch, and to feel. It's great. I really appreciate this one. The design, it's you know, inspired, I would say, by the Native. You can see, you know, some resemblance between these two guys, except for the size, of course. But, you know, there's some DNA in common for sure between these two. You know, something like to notice, of course, is the compression lock. Of course, different than the lock back of the Native, but it's, you know, classic lock from Spyderco. You find this in the PM2, PM3, and, you know, this is gonna be pretty strong option for your locking mechanism for the blade. You have some jimping going on right over here and over here, nothing in the back. And you have, you know, of course, like your T10, T8 screws for the handle, and also you're gonna have a T6 for the pocket clip. So you're gonna need 3 bits in order to disassemble this guy, which is gonna be pretty straightforward. I mean, you're not gonna have any issues in disassembling this guy. These screws are absolutely flush. They don't protrude. You know, they're not sticking out from the handle, so it's gonna contribute to give a nice overall pretty good feeling when holding this blade. The tip, the pocket clip has 4 positions. As you can see, you can do tip up, tip down, left and right, which is, you know, the best option. It makes everybody happy, and it's the classic Spyderco clip, you know, with its classic clip ramp, you know, retention. It's gonna be good to go. So you know this guy. It's not a deep carry clip, so you're gonna have this chunk of the knife sticking out, but it's pretty sturdy and absolutely reliable. This guy has a backspacer, so it's not sporting any standoffs, and if you notice, it's not flush. I mean, it's a design choice, I get it, but probably I would have preferred something more like in the lines of the Native. You see, when you have you know, a completely flush back spacer, it's gonna be nicer to the touch. Not a big deal, you know, but just remember this is like probably 1 millimeter indented in inside. So if you check blade centering, this guy is pretty perfect. And the blade, you know, this is like a 3.6 inch blade, or 91 millimeters long blade. It's this one, you know, being a sprint run, it's sporting a pretty high-end S90V steel, which is going to be extremely good with the edge retention. It's it has an almost full flat grind. You see, gets up to here, and you have a little bit of flat here with a nice satin and with a high reflective finish. This is, you know, the blade stock is quite thick. It's not incredibly thick, but this is really robust, and also the tip, it's gonna be pretty durable, like because, you know, it's beefy. This is not a small knife, you know, but it's meant to do quite hardcore tasks, because guys, this is a pretty thick stock. The grind symmetry is pretty symmetrical, and it's flat, all right. So you have, you know, of course, the jimping over here, classic up and down, like it's gonna be beautiful to squeeze, you know. It's incredible. Ergos are, we're gonna check it later, but they're gonna be great. You don't have like a crown spine over here. You know, you have basically full belly up to here, and this side, this part here is gonna be a flat edge. No sharpening choice, just be careful while you sharpen the blade, because you see, you just will have to stop right there. And then you have your finger choil over here and finger grooves, and I mean, this is very, very sinuous overall looking knife. Like I really like this. Your plunge grind is a little bit on an angle, and it doesn't extend above the hole, like for example it does here in your PM3. See, you have this little line right over there. So in this case it doesn't. And you know, you don't have like over here, you don't have any thumb ramp. You just have your you know, Ricasso showing, you know, brand, steel employed, the logo over here. You've got some quite billboarding going on, another logo, you know, location. So yeah, I'm not a fan. You know, it's not you know, reducing any functionality for the knife, but it's just optically unpleasant, I would say. The opening hole, it's not chamfered, so it's something that I always appreciate. You know, if they round off these edges over here, it's gonna cause you less finger sore while opening this knife, but yeah, not a biggie. You've got you know, a nice compression lock over here, which is pretty reliable and solid. You know, you have basically this liner being cut out, bent inward, which is gonna get into a notch in the tang of the blade, therefore just locking the blade in place. So pretty you know, reliable and sturdy lock. The sound this guy makes, it's pretty nice. Listen to this. One more time. This is a very nice clack. It's percussive, it's quite loud, it's pretty good. It gives you a nice feel, like a nice yeah, it's very good. It translates into sturdiness, into like strength, because of the thickness of the blade. Hitting this stop pin and the compression lock hitting the tang of the blade, you're gonna have a pretty nice clack. When you close the knife, this is the sound it's gonna make. Because of the nature of the cutout for the compression lock relief, like over here, as you can see, like look at this. You see, you're gonna have this chunk of the blade, like basically occupying the area where your fingertip is gonna be. So there's not really an option to have this blade drop shot, like for example, you know, with your PM3. You see, because in the closed position, you have nothing interfering with your fingertip right over here, so therefore you can have the blade just drop shut. In this guy, unless you just pinch like up to here, which is a little bit improbable because you want to have a full grip, you know, you're gonna have your tip getting in contact with this chunk of the blade. So you can't really hear like a full drop shot sound like this while you're gonna be squeezing the lock relief. So this is a pretty muffled thump. It's very nice, it's pleasant, you know, it's quiet, it's not loud, and I appreciate this one. Let's check out the feeling, the ergos, because guys, this is probably the best ergos that I've seen on a Spyderco, because you know, there's no hot spots whatsoever. I mean, you can hold it like this and it's gonna be perfect. I don't know why I don't feel this. The pocket clip, it doesn't bother me. In a more advanced position, this is insanely perfect. Like it's very, very like beautifully like wrapped. My hands is just perfectly wrapped around the handle. Like, look at this. This is just perfect. Feels solid, and you know these chamfered handles are very, very comfortable in the hand. The grip is top level, guys. You can do like some crazy advanced position, like even like this, and you're gonna have 100% control of the blade. So that's a beautiful, beautiful grip they designed for this one. You can choke up really in a solid way, or like a little bit more recessed like that, or like this. I mean, you have some options over here, and the you know texture, it's nice, it's smooth, fit and finish is, I have to say, it's spot on. They did a pretty great job with this print run over here. I don't see any gaps around, or any like there's no blade play. It's even here, it's pretty solidly built. Clip also has a nice feeling to it because it's very, very springy. It's gonna keep the knife like securely attached to the pocket of your pants. So it's nice. It's not the best looking, but yeah, it's, you know, they even did, you see like the lanyard hole through the pocket clip with you know, like there's no barrel like lanyard tube over here, but you have the liners in between, you know, the like sandwich in between the scales only. So for example, like let's see the opening options you have for this guy, because of course you can, you know, just use like, you know, your thumb and use the hole like that. You can do, you know, a nice spidey flick and it's gonna flick open. You can also deploy it in like two hands. You can just release this lock and just have this, you know, almost like freely like spin out like that. It's gonna be a little bit awkward, but most importantly, you can use this as a front flipper. So you can just flick it like that. So you have an extra option to deploy the blade. So this is very, very interesting. And you know, overall, the feeling you're gonna get, you're gonna have a little bit of finger sore because the hole has not been fully chamfered, but it's gonna be all right. You know, it's gonna reward you with a pretty good and solid feel, because this is like very, very smooth deployment. You know, this is running on phosphorus bronze washer, so not bearings, but the feel and the speed, it's something like bearing like. So very, very interesting. Detent strength is, I would say, a little touch on the light side, but it's not gonna go anywhere. You cannot shake this guy open whatsoever, and you know, the tip of the blade, it's pretty buried down, so safely recessed. There's no rattling whatsoever going on. So this is a beast. This is tank of a knife. It's solidly built. I really like this one. No lock stick, detent ball. Like the detent is it's a little bit on the light side when you open it, but it's pretty great. It works perfectly, and there's no detent ball ramp. In fact, you have this hard step over here, and of course, you know, this is like free falling and just, you know, like guillotine effect. Like if it wasn't for this chunk sticking out over here, you would have a full 100% drop shot action for the blade. You just don't have like any detent suction. You have just to, you know, push basically the blade all the way back. But overall, guys, this is a beautiful looking knife. Ergonomics are fantastic. The sound is great, and yeah, there's just a couple of you know, like this kind of you know, thing sticking out. It's a little bit bugging me, but that's probably the only thing I have to say against this one. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.